So this is live. Give me a second. I need to do setup. I have never streamed on the DPA wall before. Give me a second. Um, so I need to let me see how I need to put out the live chat. If there is. Hi Sasa. No, give me a second. Let me see how do I put this. Okay. Oh, this is part of this. Okay. Give me a second. Yeah, I have hi AR clan, hi sister. Give me a second while I do setup because I'm kind of like not familiar with the DPA wall as a live stream. Give me a second. Hi Jacob. Give me a second. Can you guys hear me? Is it okay? Do I have newsroom live? Oh, this is news. Okay, this is newsroom live. Okay. Live Persia, Israel, Iran, safe, and customization, subscriber only. So live. Okay, give me. I need to set up so that you guys can see the live chat on screen. Give me a second. None desu ka? So so do share the stream. This is breaking news. Iran have fired missiles. Sorry for wearing a singlet because things just came up like so suddenly, and I kind of like not prepared for this shocking development. So which one is it? Yeah, it should be this one. So yeah. So probably you guys will be able to see the live chat. Yep. And can I zoom in? Yeah, I don't think I can. Yeah, hopefully you guys can see the live chat. If or is there a better way? No, oh yeah, there is. Oh no. Yep. So cool, good. Then I'm gonna zoom in this one. So there is some breaking news. The UAE and Qatar airspace is closed. I'm not sure about Bahrain. Six missiles was originally reported over flying towards the US base in Qatar. And so maybe I should, oops. Yeah, do this. Yeah, so that And so, oh, this is also covered. Give me a second. Yeah, there you see the whole thing. Oh, freaking hell. I'm so sorry. All right. So anyway, just say hi to Musa as well. So this is the breaking news. It's really breaking. It's just happening. Intercepts are currently happening over the airspace of UAE, Qatar, Iraq, and I show you some footage. So just to show the planes are are turning back away from UAE. Is actually I think it's pretty chaotic right now over the airspace right now. I think it's pretty chaotic. So this is one. Yeah, let me find a better way to do this. Yeah, let me find a better way to do this. so that so that it's you guys can see clearer. Yeah. Okay, I can leave that side for. Yeah, there's more. This is another one. And let me.
La ilaha illallah.
Window capture.
Southwest, coming from the direction of Al-Udaid. Windows are shaking. La ilaha illallah.
Live chat.
La ilaha illallah. Probably Patriot. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah.
Yeah.
Southwest, coming from the direction of Al-Udaid.
Yeah, so this is the other scene that is currently happening.
La ilaha illallah.
Yeah, give me a second. Terrible, man. Yeah.
La
So
ilaha illallah.
this is the intercept over over Qatar. So this was when the news was still saying that it is six missiles, but the latest update right now is that they say that it's actually 10.
Southwest, coming from the direction of Al-Udaid.
So hi Sawane, hi Lebe, hi Chief Puff,
Windows are shaking.
hi Simon, hi Obama, hi Rune. This successful. By the look of it, it shouldn't be successful because all these places are well defended by Patriots. There is a lot of Patriot systems. These are U.S. air bases, and there is allegedly air defense systems redrawn from Ukraine and sent to the Middle East, according to Pete Hegseth. So I also want to share this link. So this is another one. This is allegedly the firing of the ballistic missiles towards Iraq and Qatar. So this was allegedly the missile attack. But the thing is, I feel like Iran would be overstretching itself. So you can actually watch this. This is
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. ترامپ با زیر پا گذاشتن همه قوانین بین المللی وارد حریم کشور عزیز ما ایران شد و به 3 نقطه از خاک مقدس ما حمله کرد و آسیب‌هایی هم وارد آورده. فارغ از اینکه خسارات وارد شده ناشی از این اقدام نابخردانه به چه میزانی است، نفس این جنایت و حرمت شکنی بی پاسخ نخواهد ماند به فضل الهی. این اقدام ترامپ از سر استیصال و برای نجات نیروی نیابتیش رژیم صهیونی به ویژه شخص نتانیاهوست. وقتی آثار ضعف و شکست رو در نتانیاهو دید، تصمیم گرفت با این اقدام یک تنفس مصنوعی به او بدهد. اما این اشتباه بسیار بزرگی بود. قبلا ما بارها پیامدهای اون رو هشدار داده بودیم. ضمن این که تنبیه نتانیاهو را تا رساندن به بیچارگی به اذن الله با قدرت ادامه خواهیم داد، در برابر این خطای آمریکا هم متناسب با اقدام متجاوز قاطعانه اقدام خواهیم کرد به حول قوه الهی. بنده یک بار دیگر خازانه از مردم، از این ملت عزیز، بی‌نظیر و موقعیت شناس تشکر میکنم. حضور مردم، روحیه مردم، پایداری مردم، همبستگی و همدلی مردم که یادآور روزهای دفاع مقدس هست، پشتیبانی که از نیروهای مسلح میکنند، اقداماتی که در کمک به همدیگر انجام میدهند، اینها همه قوت قلب ماست. سوخت موشک‌ها و پهپادهای ماست. این حرارت عشق ملت به دست با کفایت رزمندگان ما تبدیل به سجیل‌های آتشینی خواهد شد که ریشه دشمن را می‌سوزاند. واقعاً از صمیم قلب دوستتان دارم ملت ایران. من سرباز ایرانی اگر 1000 بار برای این مردم و اعتقادات اونها کشته بشم، باز هم دوست دارم به عشق این مردم زنده بشم، با دشمنان این ملت بجنگم و کشته شوم. کاملا بدیهی است که فرزندان چنین ملتی در نیروهای مسلح هرگز با هیچ متجاوزی مماشات نخواهند کرد و با قدرت پاسخ خواهیم داد ان شاء الله. ولا حول ولا قوة الا بالله العلی العظیم.
Yeah, so that is the statement coming from the chief of staff. He sounds a bit like he's preparing to die, partly, and it is also important to note that is despite the overall overarching looking like the Iran is very ready to fight to the end, which I think that the Iranian military leadership is planning to fight to the end. The actual fight may not necessarily be that to the end. So so Iran is pushing it. The United States have warned that the Iran not to retaliate, and Iran have chosen the high path. They're planning to retaliate, and they have fired missiles to US bases. And there is on top of that, I remember seeing there is also drone strikes.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim.
Yeah. There's also seemingly drone strikes on US bases that did not work. This is another one. This is another view. Yeah, you can see the missiles flying out. This is Patriot missiles flying out to intercept. This is over the Pearl. I'm not entirely sure. I think probably Doha. This is the more famous one. This is the most viral one. This.
Allahu Akbar. Madam.
I really want to make coffee right now. Oh my god. Yeah, so the guy basically afraid. Actually, honestly, in this kind of scenario, where you can see intercepts are not happening overhead, it's actually pretty dangerous to be outside, because even if you feel like these things are pretty far away, the debris or the intercepted rockets might fall on you and then you might die. This actually I think happened. I think I can't remember which place. There is this big chunk of the rocket just fell immediately on a person walking along the street. I think in Gaza. So or is it in West Bank, and then the person instant death. So it's really a bad idea to stay outside when there is these air battles happening overhead. So so this is so just want to say hi to some of the people. Hi, I'm not going to scroll everything. So hi Reka, hi Ziggy, hi Google is censorship, hi Yazi, hi Yuka, I say Yuka twice, Hamas River, US UN politics, Wildfire, hi Vaughn, Rune, Iron Monkeys, Adam, Reka, Eyeball, Little Brother, Jakuma, Ugly Toad, Mega Shell 1EX, her email. So yeah, I think it's a Palestinian. I believe I remember it's a Palestinian in the West Bank. Like they kind of ignore what's happening overhead, and then they got crushed. So this is by open source intel. Open source intel is if from my point of view, he seems pretty pro US. And Donald Trump even retweeted him on Truth Social. So basically, he reported that there's explosion at the US Al Assad air base in western Iraq. So that is that's happening. So actually, looking at his post, actually is not bad. He has a pretty sharp intel. He's one of the best open source intel so far. Yeah. Oh, he also run the account solo, so he's like me, you know. He's like me. So predictions. Donald asked whether about predictions. Predictions. I think we are now at. I think Donald Trump is going to be forced into into a war with Iran, and in fact, I think the Congress might actually now really don't mind going to war. It's going to be the kind of a shocking development. I would say. Let me see. Let me adjust. Yeah. So let me. Oh my god, yeah. Yeah. So maybe I should make it thinner. Yeah, make it. Oh, I can't. Wait. That's as thin as it goes. Oh, okay. That's about it. Okay. So, yeah, just to put the live chat. So, yeah, because then I can type here also. So, yeah, actually I shouldn't need to, but okay. So I'm sorry. I almost never. I actually never live stream on DPA War before, so no, I'm really not ready because this is like just happens really suddenly, and I just thought I can't really do another video because I just published a sit rep, and I cannot also live stream on the main channel because I also just published a sit rep for the Ukraine War. So yeah, the live chat so you guys can see yourself. So so the according to, I think there's another post that I saw was that the Iranian side say that Russia and China, particularly Russia, seems to have provided some kind of support. So anyway, Qatar successfully intercepts Iranian missile attack. Foreign Office spokesman. So this is the official statement by the state of Qatar, and saying that the state of Qatar condemns the strike by the Iranian Revolutionary Guard targeting the Al Udeid airbase. It's something to note that it's always the Revolutionary Guard. It's a IRGC, always IRGC. It reminds me of the Iraqi as well. The Iraqi also have their National Guard. I'm not sure what is it called. I think it's National Guard or something. And that was like the elite. And it's like the SS of the Nazi Germany, but the rest of the army is totally shit. Like they have zero interest. They are like peon soldiers, and I'm not sure about the situation in Iran. Is the regular army actually really fighting capable, or are they also 100% dependent on their National Guard, like the elite force? Well, I'm not entirely sure if that's the case in the case of Iraq. So. Because if this purely depend on IRGC, then the military of Iraq might be very weak. Like what happened in Iran, because in the Iraqi case with Saddam Hussein, the regular army is very weak. They surrender very easily, and is their guard units that is really doing the real fighting. So. And that basically makes their massive army. Iraqi army was like the third biggest, during the Gulf War. When the Gulf War started, the Iraqi army was the third biggest in the world. But then when the actual fighting happens, most of it just dissolved. The most of it is just not really fighting. Yeah. So Qatar affirmed its sovereign right to respond appropriately and proportionally against this brazen aggression. So they say that this is a violation of the sovereignty of the state of Qatar. So they assure the public. So they assure the public that the Qatar air defense system successfully intercepted and neutralized the missiles. The base had been preemptively evacuated in accordance to established security protocols due to heightened regional tensions, and is to ensure the safety of all personnel at the base, including the members of the Qatari Armed Forces, Allied Forces, and other individuals. No casualties and injuries occurred, which means the attack has failed so far. And so the detailed report will be released shortly by the Ministry of Defense. Qatar warned that continued military escalation in the region pose a grave threat to regional and international peace and stability. The action risks dragging the region into a broader conflict with catastrophic consequences. So they call for immediate cessation of military action and urge all parties to return to the negotiating table. So Qatar is among the first nations to sound the alarm regarding the risk posed by escalating tension, particularly consequences of Israeli action in the region. They consistently advocated for peaceful resolution, importance of good neighborly relationship, and need to avoid escalation. Qatar reaffirms the steadfast belief that only through dialogue can we secure lasting peace, protect regional stability, and safeguard the well-being of our people. And actually, I totally agree with Qatar's position. For me, I'm also advocate of negotiations, and also not just negotiation, but the important need to concession. But the problem is the negotiation between United States, Israel, Iran. No one wants to concede anything. There is no concession between all sides. So which is why we have the current situation where they are starting to shoot at each other. And honestly, this is becoming a real war. Like before that, I'm still calling this Israel-Iran war. Okay, it's still pretty arbitrary. But now, when Iran just fires at Qatar and Iraq, there's a kind of a different thing altogether right now, because this is disregarding the sovereignty of the neighboring countries. And if Iran don't step down, if they continue to fire into Qatar, then they will be drawing Qatar into the war, and the Qatari will be fighting on the side of the Israeli, which is kind of stupid, because Qatar is one of the most critical country in the Middle East on Israel. Like they're consistently very critical on Israel. They are one of the most supportive country on Palestine. So this will be a slap in the face of the Qatari if Iran does this. Like honestly, of all the bases they can fire, why do they attack Qatar? They attack Qatar is really pushing the most likely friendly country in the region to the American side. So this is quite bad. False flag by United States. How is it the false flag? The missiles flew from Iran. Like we literally just saw the video of the missile flying from Iran. So yeah. So Qatar shouldn't be cucks to the West and stand up to colonizer. But Qatar earned a lot of money through the West. What are you talking about? This the thing. Is as much as emotions are of emotions and what we think, what is ethics. You have to understand that you have to work with the West to earn money for most cases. Even for China, where this trade war is really causing massive economic problems within China. The wealth is currently in the West. That's where you earn the money from. Qatar also the same thing. It is through the cooperation with US military that secures their stability, and all this military hardware that they buy from the United States make their military really, really strong. So the Qatar has one of the most powerful air force in the region. So this it's very easy to just say whatnot. Qatar is not really very, very valuable, just a talker. If you think so, it's up to you. That's not what the Qatari thinks. That's not what the players in the region thinks. No, can you talk down stupidity? Stupidity is to fight a war that you can't win. That's stupidity. They did not attack Qatar. They attacked whatever the base, the four operating base in the Middle East. Sure, but that's in Qatar, right? So that's attacking Qatar. You don't do that. Just this excuse is what Trump said, right? They attacked the nuclear facility in Iran, but they're not attacking Iran itself. They're not attacking the civilians. They're not attacking the military. They're just attacking the nuclear facility. That is totally nonsense, right? That's bullshit. You are bullshitting too. So claiming Qatar is anti-Israel, pro-Palestinian, pro-Iranian is preposterous. That's where the Hamas leaders are hiding, right? They are all living in Qatar. What are you talking about? They are all living in Qatar. Unless you are saying that Hamas is pro-Israel. So then yeah, then I will agree with you. Al Jazeera, no, Al Jazeera is one hell of a powerful, propaganda or media outlet. Very, very powerful. Big problem when it comes to that. So let's refresh and see. Do we have anything? So let's search Iran. I mean, Qatar is a massive player in the Middle East. They are very, very good at it. Very, very good at it. They're like a mini Turkey, but more wealthy and more smart. They are very good at the economic sense of things. So just in Anna Paulina Luna response after official claim Trump violated international law by striking Iran's nuclear site or 16 hours ago. America does not answer to the UN or its charter. Now is a good time to leave the UN. Ooh. Yeah. The reality is that all superpowers don't have to respect the UN. This includes the Russians. The UN, particularly the UN Security Council, the whole point of it is to prevent another world war. The UN Security Council ensures that all the major powers in the world talk to each other and they can resolve their issues together. And for things that there is like some issues, like for example Israel or Sudan or whatever, the major superpowers of the day can discuss and decide whether they have consensus on one thing. And they have certain consensus on Iraq. And that's how the Gulf War became a UN operation. Johari, another forever war coming soon. I don't know, man. The dangerous thing is what? I'm quite sure Russia is very aware of this as well. If this Iran situation escalate into a regional conflict, that's one thing on its own. But if Russia aligns with Iran, that becomes a world war. So that's the danger. And I'm quite sure Russia is very aware of it. And I'm quite sure that Russia is not going to make this wrong move to rope Iran into the Ukraine war situation. Because the Ukraine war is a separate thing. It's not a war. It's a special military operation in the mind of the Russians. And if they go into support Iran in a big way, then it becomes a world war. That's how the Japanese war in the Pacific, when they attacked China, and then after that they went to attack the Pearl Harbor. Japan is a separate war. It's a Pacific side of things. Then they became a world war when Hitler with Italy and Japan create the tripartite. And then through the tripartite, then when Japan declared war on United States, Germany follows suit, that becomes a world war. So you don't want this kind of alliance. This kind of alliance is detrimental, because then when a real war happens, what happens is that you have to fight all the way to the end. And you don't want that. I think Russia don't want that. They have a pretty good thing going for them in Ukraine. They are draining the European countries. They are draining the countries by forcing them into reinvesting in NATO and in their military. They are winning the war in Ukraine. The European powers don't dare to enter Ukraine, and the oil money is good. All these redrawing of the European corporations force Russia into self-sufficiency to build up their industry. Unemployment is at record low. They are getting they are still surviving with goods and vehicles and whatnot coming from China. So the things is going actually pretty well, and they actually opened a new market in China. They continue to sell. They're now selling more oil and gas into China, but while at the same time they're still selling more or less the same thing to Europe, just through a third party. So for Russia, things are going really well. If they step into a world war situation, then that will just make everything become pointless for Russia. So I don't think Russia is going to support Iran in a very meaningful way. They will put it in a way that is they will just support Iran in a very minimal way, but not to the level where they will drop into a world war situation, because Russia don't want the world war. They are winning the war in Ukraine. Entering into Iran situation means they must support Iran, and Iran cannot fall. And that is like a stupid situation for Russia. Russia will not support Iran in that kind of way. It's not to their national interest. So this is what happens to World War III? How do you do all the map update? I have no idea. If World War III happens, it's almost, honestly, if World War III happened, I'm not even sure if we would have internet. Like, it is very optimistic, like some people really want to see a world war because they want to point a freaking middle finger to the United States and to the collective West and tell that the Davos or the Soros, give them a middle finger and tell them fuck you. But the reality is that if a World War III situation actually happens, every one of us is going to suffer. Food is going to be hard to find. It's going to hard to get. Global trade will grind to a massive halt, or become very difficult. Your car is going to break down and there's going to be no spare parts. Oil and gas is going to be very expensive unless you're living in a country where they supply oil and gas. And then people is going to die. And internet is going to be cut off, because why would you allow internet? You're going to cut off, and especially like countries like North Korea or Iran or whatnot, they can happily cut off all the internet. It's not going to affect them. You don't want a world war situation, which is the same thing why I always say, a lot of people want the United States to collapse, to fracture and whatnot, into fragment into multiple states. It's just as calamitous for United States to collapse, just as Russia or USSR has collapsed. It is going to cause massive suffering across millions and millions of people. So, NJ, you're talking about your ass. To think that Iran supporting Iran means World War III. I say if Russia supports Iran in a meaningful way, then it's World War III. That means like a real alliance. You do not know. You talk like as if the Ukrainians getting Euromaidan and think that that's fantastic. Fuck the Russians. We're gonna join the EU. Yeah. You will be the guy that died in the trench. Don't celebrate this kind of a collapse very well. It's really not worth it. The Ukrainians thought that life is going to get better. When they cut the Russians off, then they're going to join the EU. They want to join the NATO, and what happens? They go into the war. Most of them die. Everyone have someone they know die. Why? No, don't. I'm not talking about off my ass. I'm talking reality. Reality sucks, and and we have to be careful. That's why I say I support what Qatar say. People need to calm down. Yeah, GTA 6 will be gone. Because if there's internet is heavily affected. Banking people have affected. A lot of things affected. Then everything was fractured. Have you ever have a limb injured, a hand, an arm, a knee? If you just losing one limb, your life don't get sucked by a quarter. Like for example, you have 4 limbs, right? 2 hands, 2 arms, 2 legs. Losing 1 arm or 1 leg doesn't mean that your life become 1/4 worse. It's actually 2, 3 times, 4 times worse. So it's much worse. It's not like a quarter worse. Anything in our life, of disappearing is like it becomes multiple times harder. So in a world war situation, it's very, very bad. Vietnam is not World War III. Just like Ukraine war right now is not World War III, but a combination of multiple wars, major regional wars at the same time will be a world war. That's what happened in World War II. World War I is not even a world war, but it's called World War I because of how the fighting had reached every part of the world. The war was largely fought in Europe. There's some skirmishes here and there in the rest of the world, but that's World War I. World War II is much more global because of the Japanese Pacific War, and certain countries don't even affected, like South America is not even affected by or most of Africa is also not affected by the World War II. But no, when you have you have Ukraine war, and you have the Iran regional war. This is bad enough, and if China have some great, brilliant ideas of attacking Taiwan while United States is busy, and then they align Iran, China, and Russia as one side, then we have a massive world war. So that's World War III. Literally just World War III. And then you have Pakistan, which is very, very nervy about a collapse of Iran. If Pakistan and in India also goes to war because of all these alliance starting to develop because of everyone being paranoid, then yeah, that's super world war, super world war. So this is not impossible, I hope not. No, honestly, I hope not. I hope that this is not the kind of situation that we're going to be facing. This is just horrible. So so let's see what other news. China warned Iran, do not close Straits of Hormuz. This by Amuse. I'm not amused, but Amuse. So China issued stern warning to Iran not to close the Straits of Hormuz. 40% of China's crude oil imports and 20% of LNG imports pass through the straits. So the Chinese foreign ministry spokesman Guo Jiakun explained that the strait is a vital trade corridor. This is the way how I type as well. And warned Iran that and called on all parties to stand down. Approximately 40% of the China's crude oil available. Okay, this is a repeat. So but what would China do? China would never send this military, to do anything. So this kind of warning is empty warnings. This is the thing about This is the thing about the US airstrike or the Israeli strike on Iran. If you give warnings, like this China's case, so the warning for Israel and United States was that no, do not develop nuclear weapons, do not enrich the uranium beyond what is needed for civilian use. You can warn all you want, but if you cannot enforce your warning, you cannot turn your threats into real actions, then nobody will take your warning seriously. Similarly, I don't take China's warning seriously because China does nothing. China never does anything. They never follow through with their threat when it comes to this sort of things. They may do minimal follow-ups. For example, some countries say certain things that China don't like, maybe regarding Taiwan or South China Sea. Then they will maybe cut off tourism. Maybe they cut off certain product supplies. Maybe they'll tariff you. Maybe they don't buy certain things. But that's as much as what China will do. They don't do military attacks on Iran. They will not. So in that sense, Iran will not take China seriously. Why would they care about what China says? No, there is a problem with threats and warnings unless there's a follow-up. And the thing is, when now we see the Israeli and the United States follow up on their threats and warnings, then it becomes a war because Iran just cannot take the ego hit. It's emotional damage that they cannot survive. So that's a big problem. The brilliant 5D chess. The thing is, the problem with Iran's case is that they are getting checkmated. That's the problem right now. Which is why the only path forward is other than you fight all the way and try to win somehow, or is always a term of surrender. It's the same situation Ukraine is facing right now. Either you fight all the way, or you have to accept certain terms of surrender. Iran don't have a big brother. They don't have their situation is worse than Ukraine. At least Ukraine have the whole of Europe backing them and United States. Iran don't even have that kind of support. Then they are fighting all alone. So they're depending on whatever stockpile that they have, and then see whatever they can develop secretly underground or whatnot. But that's the most that they have. So, and then they can't possibly win a war against United States. They probably can attrition the Israeli, which is why in yesterday's DP Open Mind, we have multiple speakers all say that no, Iran should not attack United States. They should focus on Israel and grind Israel away. But you see, now they try to strike United States bases, which is like, because Iran generally also know they can't do much. They are very limited to what options that they have, and they're getting stuck. This is a very sad situation that to put yourself into, but yeah, what can they do? So but for those that do not know, the Straits of Hormuz is over here, and the Iranian parliament have passed a law to close off the Straits of Hormuz. So again, like I say, China warning, what would they do? No, it's a parliamentary law, to close it off. Iran is not worse off than Ukraine. There will be 0 American boots on the ground. I hope, but honestly, the things in develop blocking comments, dude. I'm talking here, Josh demystification. I'm talking here. My hands are here. How do I block comments? The YouTube is blocking the comments, not me. I'm talking. I got time to block comments. How do I even block comments? I hardly keeping up with reading all these comments. So I forgot what I want to say. You see, it distracted me. The closure of the Hormuz, the China's warning that it's not going to do much. This just the case. So this happened 2 hours ago. There was this rumor quickly came out in the mainstream media talking about this potential attack on US military bases, and the attack actually came. So I have no idea how the hell they know. This like how the media managed to realize that the launches were ready, or maybe they got sick intel from whoever. This is a bit of the weird thing. What will happen in Central Asia and Caucasia if Iran regime collapses? What happened to Russia? Iran collapsing doesn't affect Russia at all. Like at all, it doesn't affect Russia at all. Because Russia generally is pro-West. I'm not sure if you realize Russia is actually pretty pro-West. They really want to be part of the West. It's the West that is pushing Russia away. So a regime change in Iran, if the Iran is pro-West, they're still going to work with, they're still going to trade with Russia. And so I don't think it's going to change much. It affects China way more because China is trying to build the Belt and Road. They're trying to build this through the Belt and Road, to build this influence, and they are going through Central Asia into Iran. And this is what China is trying to do. And Russia don't really like it because all these places traditionally is the backyard of the Russian Empire. So they don't like the Chinese trying to overreach. But you see, Russia even today they are trading with a lot of Western aligned countries. That's why I say it doesn't affect Russia that much. Russia is very self-sufficient. They are on the verge of becoming a superpower again. Russia. So they are, and you cannot run away from Russia. Like you really need their oil and gas. You really need their grains. You really need their fertilizers. So most of the world cannot run away from Russia. They really need Russia. So that's what I think. Singapore, greatest country in the world. No, Singapore is on a slow decline. Honestly, from my point of view, we are on a slow decline. We are declining. But no, it's not very fast. It's like slow decline. So Singapore is not going to be very meaningful in like 50 years time. Unfortunately, I think Singapore in 50 years time is not going to be as meaningful as it is in the past 20-30 years. It opens the West Gate to Central Asia and Caucasia, allowing West and such EU instigate. Not really, because you have Afghanistan previously, right? Afghanistan was under US control previously. What does it do? So CIA operations is already in Central Asia. It is not just now, it's already inside. So let's see what is the latest. Let's see Qatar. Um, yeah, this is I agree. Iran will escalate until American boots is on the ground. The thing is that Iran retaliates because they know that Trump's hands are tied because he is running on a largely no starting new war rhetoric, and the fact that Trump is a bit like he's like not all in, like he's in and out, he's not really sure, and basically Iran can sense it, so they basically just they attack and see what kind of damage it will do to Trump's political situation, because if US retaliate, he lose more supporters. If US don't retaliate, US lose prestige and Trump is humiliated, and that also damages Israel. So it's no loss, in that sense. But if they attracted the United States to enter the war proper, then of course Iran has a lot to lose. It's going to be much worse than we can imagine. This not just this. If this was not a symbolic attack, the boost will guarantee. Yeah, this is the problem I worry. See, because you can't stop missile strikes or drone strikes without boots on the ground. This is something I talk about the Houthis, right? I say that the only way to stop the Houthis is a land invasion. You have to invade on the ground. You have to take the grounds. You have to basically conquer Houthi territory in order to stop the drone and the missile strikes on the Red Sea. And that's why I say, if they continue to strike cargo ships, then they are attracting a land invasion. They are asking to be invaded. Somehow Trump managed to have a deal with the Houthis. Somehow. And Houthis agreed to not strike ships anymore, and they're just focusing on Israel. How does that work? How was the negotiation done? What was agreed? What was the concession? I have no idea. So that also come after the United States strike Houthis like nobody's business. The airstrike was consistent and over a long period of time. So the Houthis probably also had enough. They are not gaining anything. The Houthis by having a fight with the Americans, because their problem with is with Israel. So maybe that's one of the reasons they just okay, we do not strike the ships. They focus on Israel and they just fire rockets and missiles to Israel. So that maybe works. But Iran is not a militant group. It's a big country. Yeah, what's my take on the ground invasion? That will really depend on the take on the ground invasion. That will really depend on how the makeup of the Iran military is. If it's like the Saddam Hussein's military, where the real fighting strength is in their guards, in the Revolutionary Guards, then this military is going to be quite weak. Because if there is not a big enough force, unless the whole military is all in, then there's a fight. But if the military surrenders and gives up, the general military, the regular military give up, and the only one fighting are the guards, then you're gonna have a problem, because then basically the military size just get so small that Qatar say they have the right to respond to Iran. Okay, how is Qatar gonna send in airstrikes? This is shocking. Let's see. So this was the initial. This is another view. I think I've never seen this before. So this is on the marina. Okay, there's an intercept there, and more Patriot missiles flying up, and another intercept, another intercept. What are all these lights that is hanging on the sky? Are they flares? Yeah, very weird. So Ukraine is 92 million, the size of West Europe. Yeah, the population number is one thing, but but the thing is, you have to see the Iranian Islamic Revolution still succeeded, right? To take over such a big country. It's not impossible. It's just that they really depend on the population as well. If the population all all becomes very antagonistic and all volunteers to go to fight, then of course it's nearly impossible to conquer Iran. But if let's say the population is indifferent, and then the only people fighting is just the Revolutionary Guard, the IRGC, then you're going to have a problem, because if it's only IRGC, it's just not big enough to deal with an invasion. And the Americans is very experienced with fighting mountain warfare. As much as people like to say, oh, mountain warfare is going to be so difficult, that's what Afghanistan is, right? So the Americans have the experience to fight in the mountains. So it's going to be a slow war. Mountain wars are very slow, but no, they have the means. And the big problem is air superiority. The Iranians have zero control of their air. That's a big problem. I'm very disappointed with the way how the Iran have dealt with the area defense situation. They hardly defend. Israel is bombing Iran at will, and that's actually rather humiliating. To be honest, like, how would anyone expected that Iran, years ago, they boasted that their radar can now detect stealth aircraft. And then they boasted about how their air defense is so strong. And then when the actual war now being fought, hardly any Israeli fighter jet got shot down. And even the F-35 that was allegedly shot down, and they say that they're going to show the pilot. The pilot is a female, and they're going to show her on TV. Where is it? Until now, there isn't. It is not. It sounds like just PR. How many Patriots and missiles are fired? As means a lot. So no, I hope there's enough for them, because I hope that they actually took the wars in Ukraine seriously and actually made a lot of Patriot missiles. If not, there won't be enough to go around. US backed government in Afghanistan caused it to invade. US-backed government caused it to invade Tajikistan to help militants in Uzbekistan in the 90s. And you mean the Mujahideen? Oh, okay. They supported the Mujahideens doesn't mean that they control the Mujahideens, right? Mujahideens have their own agencies. They have their things that they want. And this is an Islamic thing, right? It's an Islamic revolutionist thing. Eventually they form a Taliban, which is like is not pro-US anyway. So George gamification is racist. Oh, you got it. No, yeah, racist. Iran allowed the West to conduct easier operations and revolts in Central Asia and Caucasia. Plus, Reza Pahlavi is pro-Ukraine and anti-Russia. The new Iran will fight Russia. Maybe, but I don't think fight Russia is very big to say. But honestly, I don't believe Reza Pahlavi will ever be able to become king in Iran. I don't think it's possible. Why would anyone want a nobody? Like, he's not even anybody in Iran for like 30-40 years. Like, why would they want him to be king? For under what authority? Under what heritage? Like, even if he's the king, the son of the Shah, so what? The Shah was only like king for 20 years. It's not like even him is not like the ancient family bloodline of royalties. So yeah, as much as the Iranian diaspora is very excited about it, I don't think it's anything. Yeah. So let's see what else. So this is, what is this base, man? This looks so AI to me. This doesn't look real. Yeah, I don't. So what's this GIF? Okay, so there was a lot of planes, and then everybody avoided, and then they just stay in Bahrain, Qatar, and Saudi Arabia is not affected. Yeah, Saudi Arabia must be trembling, man. Yeah, no. I should be happy about my earlier prediction about escalation by Iran, but I'm not. Yeah, you see, that's the thing, there is not a lot of path Iran can take. And most of the path that doesn't lead to a massive war is all surrenders. It's all different terms of surrenders. You can call it whatever you want. It's like a term of surrender. Actually, in fact, I can show you. Let me find. I can show you a analysis by a diplomat that I have great respect for. Is a Singaporean diplomat. He's our former permanent secretary for the foreign affairs in Singapore. So he's a foreign ministry top civilian, and he's now one of the most prominent this guy Bilahari Kausikan. So he's shucks. Ugh. Okay, so he's one of the most prominent geopolitical guy in Singapore. I know many of you guys may have known Mahubani, right? So this guy is the nemesis of Mahubani. So where the hell is it, man? Soon here. So maybe I should drag this here a bit. Oh, this okay. I need to maybe do this. Okay, so that works. Okay. So this is Bilahari Kausikan. So this guy is one of the guy I'm a fan of his work. So of his, I totally agree with his analysis. So this is he hates the Middle East Institute in Singapore. So he's one of this. He's like, no, this is not a nobody, at least in Singapore's context. So what's next for Iran? Will there be a change of regime in Iran now that US have entered the fray and bombed 3 nuclear sites? The fundamental responsibility of any government is to defend the country's sovereignty and territorial integrity. Its Iranian regime had singularly failed in this fundamental responsibility. Even before the US entered the fray, Israel had exposed the regime as ineffectual in defending its border. So the Iranian government cannot continue as before. Iran is a civilization that will endure, and any regime is just a ephemeral manifestation of any civilization. As far as the current iteration of the Iranian civilization is concerned, the status quo has already changed. However, we should not make the mistake of thinking that regime change is always single cataclysmic event that led to the Shah's fall in 1979. The structure of this regime remains intact even though many of its leaders are dead. Undoubtedly, more will soon find the martyrdom they say they cherish. But most probably the end of this regime will be a slow, incremental crumbling away, gradual decay and progressive putrefaction rather than sudden collapse, a matter of many years and perhaps a decade or more. This will be a period of danger as the regime seeks to starve off the end by demonstrating it is not weak by act of terror aimed at American, Israeli, and perhaps Gulf state assets. Not just in the region but around the world, they may attack shipping in the Strait of Hormuz. Oh my freaking god! If this refers to the missile strike, then this is spot on. So still, this remains largely a regional conflict because Iran has no significant external partners except Russia and China. The former is preoccupied in Ukraine and the latter is an economic but not a strategic actor in the Middle East. This is something I said. Iran lacked a real big brother. So in any case, Beijing had enough troubles of its own with lackluster economy and competition with the US to want to add to them by joining a futile fight. Which is also what I just said. Iran can't win this fight. They can't win this war. Even before US bombed Iran, Tehran had already lost, and it was only the term of surrender that needed to be settled. This is also what I just said. That's why I said this analysis is very similar to my perspective. The Iran have not much choices. Every choice that don't lead to a major war is a term of surrender. It's just how much you want to surrender. And Iran takes massive emotional damage by whatever things has been happening, and the only way to protect their ego and the pride is to fight on. And this is what we are seeing right now. They fight on. So interestingly, oil prices has so far not have been much affected, with the Brent crude hovering around the mid-70 USD range after a few spikes since the Gaza war began 2 years ago. Israel-Iran-US conflict is a continuation of that war. Iranian energy mainly goes to China because of Western sanctions. Attack on shipping and energy routes for Gulf oil will only draw even greater retaliation. This is something I said about the Hormuz, the Strait of Hormuz. Trying to block it is a pretty silly thing to do, because you're just bringing more enemies onto the Israeli-American side. This really, it doesn't affect Israel and United States that much. I said this in my video about this, which a lot of people didn't see because I posted on this channel, and YouTube don't push this channel anymore. This channel is pretty dead right now at this moment. But it's a YouTube algorithm problem. I can talk about it next time. No, I don't think you're interested though. But it's just my life. So as far as the nuclear issue is concerned, even if the negotiations over its surrender, of course the talks will not be called by its proper name, restart, it will be more a delaying tactic, and Iran will try to accelerate its acquisition of a nuclear device and thus invite further attacks on not just its nuclear facilities but on its general supporting energy and other infrastructure. Tehran will not give up its nuclear ambitions, but we have gained 20 or so years of respite from a nuclear Iran. Yeah, so this is why I say also Iran will continue, because what choice do they have? And if they really believe that nuclear weapon is going to save them, then of course they will continue to pursue it, just as Ukraine continue to try to pursue joining NATO, despite there's actually no guarantees that joining NATO means that nobody dare to attack you. It's just a belief. Having nuclear weapon is also a belief that if you have nuclear weapon, nobody dares to attack you. But no, Pakistan and India still smack each other, right? They still smack each other. It doesn't mean that it does. It's a guarantee of no one will dare to attack you. And using a nuclear weapon would just mean that yeah. So anyway, all this sparked off by the October 7 terrorist attack on Israel by Hamas. I don't think Iran proactively encouraged Hamas or had prior knowledge of the attack, but Tehran blundered by subsequently supporting it and not restraining Hezbollah from joining in. The end result was to set back a two-state solution indefinitely and beginning of the end of the Iranian regime. This is one of the greatest strategic miscalculation in recent history. So this is Bilahari Kausikan. This guy is not a nobody. I just want to say, you can actually search his name. I actually search his name for you. So this is oh, you can't see his face, but okay, what happened, man? So this Bilahari Kausikan. So this guy, okay, so he's a retired academic, diplomat, civil servant, served in the permanent representative to the UN, and he was also the former permanent secretary of the foreign ministry. So he's so now he's the chairman of the Middle East Institute of the NUS, and a senior fellow of the social science of SMU. He's the deputy secretary of Ministry of Affairs, then appointed to the second permanent secretary and promoted to permanent secretary. So permanent secretary is the top civilian. So he is basically works immediately under the foreign minister, and he basically is the one that gives advice to the foreign minister. So he lay out all the options. So the problem nowadays is that after he left the foreign ministry, I think Singapore's foreign diplomacy, the foreign affairs become worse. Singapore just made poorer decisions after he left. So it's a sad thing, but everybody have to retire someday. This guy is a brilliant guy. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of him. So that post is also interesting. So let's see whether he said anything more. So he didn't say much more things, but under the comment of that post, there was a lot of top diplomat. I mean, you feel free to disagree, man. Like, there's all sort of ideas and opinions all around the world. Everybody have a different ideas of what is what, So there, this did he write this? let's see. This is by who? This guy, Chaos Guardian, NUS Middle East Institute. Oh, it's under him. Yeah, Iran has no good choices to respond to US strikes. Only the best of the bad options. Like it's basically what I said, right? Honestly, I've never seen this article before. All my opinions have said so far is just based on my principles in terms of looking at geopolitics. And why I am a big fan of Bilahari Kausikan is because my view of the world aligns very closely, and I learn a lot from him. So that's the main reason. And just have someone say hi to me. Hi Musi. Yeah. So Nordic Monkey, the acquisition of nuclear arms isn't to prevent war, but war with the US. Libya, Iraq get rid of nuclear enrichment, and North Korea done. Who gets overthrown? The difference between Libya and Iraq is that both Libya and Iraq have no big brother. That is the real problem. If you don't have a big brother that's willing to stand up for you and fight war with you, then you're not going to win. How North Vietnam won the war? North Vietnam won the war and became the whole of Vietnam because they have the backing of China and Russia. You have to have a big brother that's willing to go to war with you, to support you all the way. If not, you're not going to survive. North Korea have China backing it, they have Russia backing it, and today North Korea is a military ally of Russia. That basically guarantees North Korea's survival like for a long time to come. And that's also what South Korea and Japan have. They have United States backing them. Like, so South Korea and Japan is very secure, very safe, also because of United States backing. If not, then this kind of random missiles can also fly to Japan and South Korea. So that's the main thing. Why I always read your comment, but why is worried about instability around Singapore fall to the US institution in the Middle East? Instability around Singapore is a given right now, given the geopolitical trend. So how would a new secular liberal Iran like geopolitically, and what would its political landscape be like? Would there be a pro Russia China party besides pro US one? I think Iran is already a democracy. A lot of people like to say it's a dictatorship. It's not a dictatorship. It is a democracy, but with a theocracy. So they have a religious guide. They have a religious council with a supreme leader, which is actually a religious guide. But then they still have their own prime minister or president, which actually runs the country, and it's all through election. So the only thing that they need is just remove that top theocracy layer. The democracy stays on. I think Iran will still be pretty much very neutral. I think Iran without this religious tint to it will be like India, largely neutral and a pain in the ass to deal with, like Turkey. Like Iran would be like Turkey, So Summer Lake, any other woman listening to DPA, or am I the only one? Any other girls in the chat? What's the name? I can't see. Musi Design, thanks. Thank you for the super chat. It's super appreciated. The North Vietnam also has something that works in their favor that nobody talks about: jungles and forests. Iraq and Libya, is also very deserty and wide open grounds. Yeah, it's a bit harder to hide stuff. That is true. In Iran is different. Iran is very mountainous, so they could potentially, like Afghanistan, will have a much more defensive advantage if they make full use of it. The axis of evil, the US was worried about Russia and China regarding North Korea. We have to disagree. I think the axis of evil thing is totally full of shit. I think George Bush is full of shit. So so I don't agree with the axis of evil nonsense. There's just rhetoric. There's no real check on the Ayatollah. That's making kind of a dictator, and the RGC is loyal to him. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, which is why I say This layer, once you remove, you only have the democracy. I think Iran will work perfectly fine, you know. So that's what I think. Yeah. So yeah, North Korea is now is super secure. Honestly, like Georgia, no, is almost there already. Georgia almost going to become a Russia ally, by the look of it. And North Korea is very secure right now. Unless Russia collapses, North Korea is super secure. Not even China would dare to touch North Korea right now. So who do you think benefits from this Iranian strike? Russia or Ukraine? Russia. The oil price increase, Russia will be the happiest. Oh my freaking god. And I tell you why. From my understanding, China refused to buy more oil and gas from Russia because China is worried about what I told you guys long time ago. I'm not sure if you remember. I said that Russia will want China to be dependent on Russia for oil and gas, and in that sense, that will become a nuke around the neck. And China is very well aware of it. They cannot be purely dependent for energy from Russia. So they deliberately do not want to buy more from Russia. They want to buy from Iran. But now if Iran closes the straits and this export of oil and gas become totally hampered, or the oil refining facilities and everything got destroyed by Israel, then China will have no more cheap alternative, because now China is buying oil and gas from Russia on the cheap. So and Russia of course not very happy, but they have no choice. So they wanted China to buy more. China don't buy. They're buying from Iran. And now if Iran is gone, they cannot buy. Then they have to buy Russian if they want the cheap oil and gas. And so Russia will benefit. But on top of that, because of the lack of competition to the cheap oil and gas from Russia can raise the price. So they will not need to be like what happened in the past 3 years, that Russia have to give massive discounts to get its oil and gas to be sold. Yeah. And the oil and gas generally, if the price is higher, then Russia generally also earns a lot more. And that will basically pay off for the next year or two of Ukraine war. So have you learned to fish yet? Not yet, man. I have no father to teach me how to fish. I wish I have. I wish someone teaches me how to fish. I have no idea how to fish. Yeah, so let me zoom down. North Korea like to jam with their orchestra and parade a lot. I don't think they are a threat. Yeah, North Korea is not a threat. There's a big thing about, I turn off my WhatsApp. This is the thing about North Korea. It's like they're not a threat. They are just paranoid. The same thing about Russia. I don't think Russia is a threat to Europe, but they are paranoid. They are paranoid. And if you keep pushing, like the NATO border closer and closer to Russia, and you want to take Ukraine in, of course, Russia have to make difficult decisions. They stick to lyric faith. Stick to Ukraine and Russia. You have no idea what about Middle East. That's what everybody said, but everything I say came true. What are you talking about? And honestly, I'm not even Ukraine or Russian. Principles in geopolitics remains the same. There's no change. Iran is the Ukraine in this situation. So you can hope that Iran will win, but there's no benefit to most of us actually if Iran wins. Honestly speaking, so I'm not sure why. We are all surviving on a lot of Western infrastructures. So a world war situation. If Iran will actually win, which means that the world is going to a very, very dark place. Unfortunately, it's not like Iran is evil. I'm just saying that that means the West has collapsed, and the West collapse means that everything that we are using right now, this internet that we are talking about right now, we are all it's all doomed, man. So it's not like what we should want is that everybody stop going to war, everybody willing to work together, and stop trying to get nuclear weapons. It doesn't help. Everybody just cooperate and stop asking for other countries to die. The problem is that Iran made it impossible for there to be diplomacy, because if your idea is oh, Israel must not exist, then yeah, then you are basically creating a cascading effect of problems, because first Israel will become your enemy. Then who is the big brother of Israel? United States. So now you're gonna have big problem in terms of that too, and that's totally ignoring all the other the Islamic revolutionary ideas that the monarchies in the region are really afraid of. So yeah, so the Bilahari, his analysis is pretty brutal. Like he basically said it as if it is. You see, I don't do that. No, because I don't dare to say as sure as he does, but no, he's very very sure on his opinions, which is kind of like, wow, we shared these many things. I'm not gonna find it, man. So yeah. So let's read this Chaos Guardian one. So this guy is also this guy is not a nobody as well. I think this is, what is he? He's a journalist for 30 years. So he's senior leadership at Today and the Straits Times Singapore media. Okay, so he's part of the Middle East Institute. Is he a lecturer right now? Award winner, deputy editor across Prince. Okay, interesting. So he's like a journalist to think tanker. So let's see what he write. The American president who appears the most dead set against stupid endless war in the Middle East sent the nation's military back into the region in a purely offensive manner. Yeah, true, not wrong. So the expectation was raised that US could act against Iran, but the attacks were a surprise in terms of timing. Trump gave Iran 2 weeks to come to a decision whether you want to come to the negotiating table. Instead, it takes only 2 days to strike. Whether the 2 weeks window is a ruse, or the US leader has gained new intelligence about Iran's unwillingness to negotiate, or had decided to attack when he said the deadline is unknown, if ever. So the big unknown is how successful is a strike, which is now the big question. Everybody say they're not sure if the strike is actually that successful. So but the press conference of the Pentagon provided neither detailed battle damage analysis or satellite imagery that can shed light. Okay, so yeah, so this Iran has no good choices. This is the main point. What's the most significant about the president's remark was that was not explicitly stated whether the US action is actually intended as a one-time effort or whether this stays that way up to the leadership of the Islamic Republic. This of course hinges on 2 things: whether the bomb and missile strikes were as effective as it claims and how Iran will respond to it. And the former, a successful mission is a preferable outcome. It increased the chance of a calm return sooner rather than later because Iran has no good choices. If as threatened, then he decided the only way forward is to exit the NPT and takes its program underground, which is likely to invite more American and Israeli action as they exploit the moment of extraordinary Iranian weakness and vulnerability. But this 100%, I think they are already exiting the NPT, the Non-Proliferation Treaty. From my understanding, they are leaving already, and at least that's what it seems to be the case. Let me search the news. So they haven't confirmed yet by the look of it. So no one, but the rumors is that they already don't allowing IAEA to enter. So blah 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 blah. Washington will have no doubt learned the lesson from its failure to keep Pyongyang from breaking out. But there's nothing that the United States can do about North Korea's nuclear program. What can they do? The only way you can stop a nuclear program, if the country is hell-bent on having it, is to missile strike it. Kishore Mahbubani is a much better expert. I disagree, man. Even the whole Singapore government disagree. The Singapore government is siding with Bilahari over Mahbubani. I just want to say. I personally, I don't like Mahbubani, so I don't like Kishore. So then the kinetic options available to US and Iran were never really on the table. Yeah, this is what I just said, right? You can't strike North Korea, so that's beyond the case. So Dramatic escalation, geopolitical uncertainty, and lack of solid intelligence were among the reasons US did not draw a firm line in the sand, allow North Korea to call its bluff. When it comes to Iran, the line has been drawn. The consequences of crossing it has been clearly spelled. This is basically what I have been trying to say. Basically, if you have a threat, you already threaten that if you do something more, we're going to take action. Then when the line is crossed, you must take action. Because if you don't take action, then you are weak. And that's what happened to Russia. Russia's red line is not respected by anyone because Russia never acts on the red line. Now, Ukraine have been crossing the red lines and nobody's business. And Russia doesn't really do more. Russia basically just do more or less the same. That's why Russia's red line is not respected at all by anyone. No one trusts Russia's red line. The only red line that they trust is that don't enter into Ukraine, don't send your military into Ukraine. Because I think maybe multiple NATO soldiers have already died by deliberate airstrikes on missile strikes on them. So that line was like, oh, okay, they know that's a real red line. But other red lines is not so clear, the bombers, the nuclear bombers got hit. And what's the red line? What was done? It's the same old missile strike and drone strikes on Ukraine. And the people, Ukraine and Europe have no respect for Russia's red line. This is why the consequences of crossing the red line must be clear. Which is why I cannot say I cannot they don't support America's actions, because if they don't act, then United States will become weaker. Then they also just make the world more dangerous because everybody will start to do their own shit. But then when the United States have to enforce their threats, then it's a strike on Iran. Then it's like a starting of a potential war. There's no good options as well. So there's either peace or tragedy for Iran. The choice are theirs. So come on, this is not analysis. This is like just repeating stuff. So the most difficult, so they say that the attack were the most difficult for the military to carry out, and the future ones will be a lot easier. Remember there are many targets left. This is just an article. This he's not doing analysis. He's just writing an article. So I can't read anymore. This is a horrible article. It's a horrible article. Let's go back to Twitter and see what else. Let me see. So latest. Go back to watching Bigfoot vlogs. The Bigfoot vlogs are good. So I think latest is a terrible way to find news, bro. I have to depend on top. Iran gave a 12 hours heads up before launching its missile on US bases stationed in Qatar. No casualties are expected. Iran gave 12 hours heads up? How? When did that happen, man? Let's see. Khaleesi. Wow, it's the big channel. Why is this the same post? Okay. Iran setting its air defense against the US. They're not aiming. It's not aiming. Okay. Okay. So this. Also, for those just now who didn't see the footage, this is the footage of the intercepts. I'm not sure what are those hanging lights. Those lights hanging in the air. I'm not entirely sure what are those. Can't possibly be stars, right? I see the intercept. So that's what happened. So Qatar has intercepted all missiles launched by Iran at the US base. No casualties. So basically all saying the same thing. Let's see what Colin Rock has said more. Iran coordinated the attack on the US airbase in Qatar with Qatari officials to symbolically strike the US and provide an exit ramp, according to the New York Times. So Iran reached out ahead of time to tell Qatar of the attack to minimize casualties. Iran coordinated the attack on the American airbase in Qatar with Qatari officials and gave advance notice that the attack were coming to minimize casualties. What the hell did he repeat the same paragraph? The officials said that, fuck off, man. They described it as a similar strategy in 2020 when Iran gave Iraq heads up before firing ballistic missiles at American base in Iraq, following the assassination of the top general. Do you believe? Do you believe is again Iran basically have to avoid US casualties, but they have to strike a US base. So they basically gave the warning before they strike. No, do you think this is the case? Yeah, I have my doubts. I have this emoticon. I'm not sure, man. No one is not so stupid to believe this. I have no idea, man. UN is full of shit. Nothing is gonna happen. A few power dictate what is happening, and that's it. Yeah, it's true. UN is not a thing. UN is not a democracy. UN is just a club, and this club of nations, you have a few big brothers, and those big brothers are the one calling the shots. So and honestly, the big brother club, the top ones, France should not be there. UK should not be there anymore. They are too weak right now. Russia, United States, yeah, I agree to be there. I think India should be inside of it. And I'm not sure who else is worth being there right now. Like, you have to be powerful enough to be there. And I'm not sure who should be there. I only know, United States, Russia, and India. Yeah, these three. On China, 4. And final, China. So China, India, United States, Russia. 4. 4 would be good. Yeah, I think 4 would be good. So I don't think that you need a 5. Unless EU become a thing. Like, no, that means United Kingdom is not part of EU. So no, the EU shouldn't be the inside of it. Yeah. Because the to be in the UN Security Council, the whole point is to prevent nuclear war, is to prevent world war. So you have this club, these permanent members must be countries that is capable of massive influence, massive war. So yeah. So basically, no indication of impact after Iran launched multiple ballistic missiles. So this is by Fox News. So that's it. What else? So these are Colin Brock. Eric Dougherty. What did he say? Just in. So Trump is pissed off. So that's interesting. Let's see what Trump say. Truth Social. So by the way, DPA have a Truth Social account as well, but nobody follows us there. So Donald Trump is offended. Donald Trump is very offended by people don't believing that the strike in Iran is very successful. This is a bit funny. The site we hit in Iran were totally destroyed, and everyone knows it. Only the fake news will say anything different in order to try to demean as much as possible. And even they say they were pretty well destroyed. Working especially hard on this falsehood is Alison Cooper of fake news, CNN, Dumb Brian L. Roberts, chairman of the Concast, and Johnny Carl of ABC Fake News, and always the loser of, again, Concast NBC Fake News. It never ends with the sleazebag in the media. That's why their ratings are all at an all-time low. Zero credibilities. Honestly, as much as I like Donald Trump, I personally also not entirely sure how well destroyed is the targets. So that's so funny. Yeah. Security Council membership is about awarding the winners of World War II, less about preventing the war. That's what you think, the reality is that China was given a seat, and that was ROC, Republic of China, and after they give it to People's Republic of China. It's already beyond that. That's World War II is a long time ago. Now the age is different, and the France and UK then at the end of World War II is the major empires left. Yeah. So Spain wasn't an empire then. So it was France, UK, US. Yeah. They actually offered India a seat. India rejected a seat. So they have been regretting the rejection till today. So anyway, this I'm not sure if you saw this. This is very funny. So this is Medvedev. The Donald Trump now feuding with Medvedev online, which is kind of funny. No, did I hear former President Medvedev from Russia casually throwing around the N-word, nuclear, saying that he and other countries would supply nuclear warheads to Iran? Did he really say that, or is it a figment of my imagination? If he did say that, then if confirmed, please let me know immediately. The N-word should not be treated so casually. I guess why Putin's the boss. By the way, if anyone thinks our hardware was great over the weekend, far and away the strongest and best equipment we have. 20 years advanced over the pack is our nuclear submarines. They were the most powerful and lethal weapons ever built. Just launched 30 Tomahawks. All 30 hit their mark perfectly, in addition to our great fighter pilots, and thank you to the captain and crew. This is so lame. This is so lame. I think they would be best friends, because Medvedev is full of all this kind of ridiculous social media posts as well. Then I think they will make very good friends in real life. Like Kim Jong-un and Trump. Kim Jong-un and Trump are besties in real life as well. Yeah, so Italy is the largest military in Europe now. I know it's Poland. Poland is the biggest right now. Poland is the next big power in Europe right now. And Poland's economic progress is also like very good the past few years. So I think Poland is going to be the next major big shot in the European politics. Trump does not want more US military engagement in the region. CNN cited senior White House official. We knew they will retaliate. They had a similar response after Soleimani. Okay, so no US service member is injured. Okay, so there's looks like that's about it. Doesn't look like there's more strikes. These are all the same footages just now, in case you haven't saw it. Yeah, Poland have grown a lot. Really a lot. The Ukraine war is a godsend to Poland, honestly. Who give a fuck about World War II, you fucking idiots? Yeah. Agent Orange thing is still running The Apprentice. Honestly, as much as people can think Trump is a joke, this joker can kill people. He can send an airstrike and kill people. So a crazy person with a knife is still freaking dangerous. Don't take them lightly. No, I would not take Trump lightly. As much as sometimes I really disagree with the things he say. He's just nuts. Trump is in the Situation Room with Pat Hegseth, the General Dan Razin-Kane, and monitoring the Iranian attack. Yeah, so jets scramble over Saudi Arabia. UAE closed the airspace. Yeah, so this is what Operation Fatah's blessing. What the hell is? Yeah, looks like that's pretty much the end of the attack. There's nothing else. Yeah, Iran. So let's search Iraq. Iraq was attacked as well. So I wonder if anything is coming out from Iraq. Yeah, this is not gonna end well. Iran just signs death wish. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's gonna be death wish per se. Like the reality is that after Soleimani died, then Iran launched missile strikes on US bases, and then no Americans died, and then after that there's no retaliation from Trump. So yeah, Trump's light balance deals, right? Fair trade. Like I strike your nuclear facility, you strike my airbase. Fair trade. So he don't escalate further. I think that's how Trump's brain works. Like he expected it, so maybe yeah, bomber in chief. Yeah, Obama is a disappointment. I was really disappointed with Obama, honestly. Yeah, I don't even. Should I just mute you? Should I just time up you? Can you have a life? USA can't actually go on Iran. Iran is too strong. No, that's what everybody says. But no, I'm not sure. No, I also thought Assad is strong, you know. And Assad just collapsed over a weekend. It's like over a week. I I have never expected Syria to fall so easily. So like I don't like to believe someone is too strong. Like yeah, the moment your army don't fight, you can't win. Like Assad's situation in Syria, all his military don't fight, and then Syria just collapsed. Same happened in Iraq. Only the guard units were fighting, and then that's it. Not only if only the guard units are fighting, then the military is not fighting. Then Saddam Hussein lost the war instantly. Yeah, so US bases on high alert. So these are all the bases in you guys can't see. So these are all the bases in I think I should just maybe I just make it bigger. So these are all the bases in around Iran. I see. There is a Haril Air Base, Al Assad Air Base. This is targeted just now. This is the one that was targeted. And then Al Taf is in Syria. Then Ali Al Salim in Kuwait, Bahrain, the 5th Fleet. And then the Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar, the largest base in Middle East. This is the one that was attacked. And at UAE, there's the Al Dhafra Air Base, which houses F-22s. Okay. How dare Iran surrounds US bases? How dare Iran dare to put his country so close to US bases? Yeah, that was the joke, right? So I think that's about it. I think there's no much crazy news anymore. Yeah, it's rather underwhelming. It was pretty exciting just now. It's no longer exciting, but it must be a scary thing for the people in Qatar. Like this, they must be like, holy shit. And UAE and Bahrain must be like, holding their breath. What is this? Okay, Iran response has begun. Okay, so this Kobesi letter. The Kobesi letter is not bad, but I don't agree all the time. So you probably can't see if I do that. So oil prices surged 5%. Then after that, it started to drop. Then US anticipate Iranian attack. It started to drop again, and Iranian attack. Then the oil price drop. Why the hell is the oil price drop when Iran attack? How does it work? Why is it going the opposite way? Let us explain. Let's see what they explain. So Iranian media announced Iran launches the Operation Annunciation of Victory. So Fatah is victory. Okay. And Iran said they will not leave any attack on Iran unanswered. So that's the first response. Market was a sell-off of stock and a jump in oil price. The most common thought process here is the Iranian response is escalatory, but this does not last long. The market is painting the opposite situation right now. Look at the S&P 500. The index is decline, falling -45. Then 1 hour later, you recover all its losses. So everybody just gamed the system. Everybody just like took the opportunity and just believe in the idea that nothing ever happens. They just game the system. I'm so sorry. Yeah, they didn't give you notification. So yeah, I'm so sorry. I'm not sure. No, DPA war is getting suppressed by the YouTube. Like they don't really like that my videos don't like is success built on success. Like so if I publish stuff that is no lesser people want to watch, like for example non-Ukraine war stuff, then then they just smack the channel to death. So oil price went down because Iran shipped and sold a lot of oil just to get money and away from Israel missiles. Is that how that works? The Iran, I'm not sure. No, because Iran's oil is actually sanctioned. So no one actually buys Iranian oil except for no people buying in secret and China. So stocks are closing in the green despite all the chaos. So furthermore, oil prices are getting crushed, nearing the key $70 per barrel level. And even as Iran threatens to close the Straits of Hormuz, US bomb Iran, Iran bomb US bases, oil prices are down. This is not World War III. Huh. That's weird. Why the oil prices go down? Is it because Donald Trump say no? Everyone, keep the oil price down. I'm watching. You're playing right into the hands of the enemy. Don't do it. Then everybody just, okay, let's sell. Is that what happened? Is that what happened? It's because Donald Trump said that, no, keep the oil price down. No, and then they asked the Department of Energy, drill, baby, drill. I mean now. And the price dropped. Is that what happened? Yeah, it's so weird. YouTube is working for the Israelis. I'm not sure. Maybe yeah, maybe so. No, sometimes it feels like they are very anti-Israel as well. I'm not sure. The YouTube's position on Israel is super unclear. So no, I have no idea how to navigate around Israel's issue. Israel-Palestine is a freaking difficult topic to navigate around YouTube. Like I have no idea where YouTube's position is. I know YouTube is pro-Ukraine. That is for sure. They are very anti-Russia. But I have no idea how to navigate around the Israel-Palestine one. So no, that is a bit weird. Like I saw very pro-Israeli channels still survive. I also saw very anti-Israel channels still survive. So I have no idea how it works. So so on Sunday we posted the below note on the bull case about this situation. The one where the Israelis all claim victory. Today is the exact scenario coming to fruition. Iran saying that they dealt devastating blows to the US. All the missiles getting shot down, how the devastating blow. So the New York Times say the Iran coordinated the attack, with the Qatari official gave advance notice that attacks were coming. So according to 3 Iranian officials familiar with the plan. Who is the officials? Oh my freaking god. Is it toilet cleaners or what? No, I'm not sure. So yeah. If World War III is truly likely, the oil price will be $130. The S&P 500 will be minus 30 or more. The exact opposite is the case. So the market don't believe that World War III is going to happen. They really subscribe to the nothing ever happens movement, Nothing ever happens. The anti-US bias propaganda is hilarious. Look like Trump's favorite golf course in Qatar was saved. Yeah. And honestly, the Iranians did not use their most powerful missiles on Qatar as well. No, they use the easier to intercept ones. So they didn't use those that they struck Israel with. So yeah. Okay, if this is the case, if Iran just do a symbolic attack and then they go back to focus purely on Israel, I think Iran is going to be all right. If they continue to try to attack US forces, then it's going to be a problem. What I do remember reading is that there is this rumor. I want to see whether I can find a post. Let me find the post. Give me a second. It is about Iran is now asking its proxy forces in Iraq to move to attack US forces in Iraq. So that would be a bad idea. So but yeah. So okay, this is the one. So this is by this guy. I have no idea who is he. Ghaffuri. I happen to be following him though. Yeah, I forgot why I follow him. I think because of he say some good stuff. But so he said that he spoke to a friend at the Iraq Ministry of Defense. So he confirmed that the Iranian-backed armed groups are quietly repositioning across Iraq in recent days. So internal messaging suggests that some of these groups, let me see whether I can. Okay, some of these groups are aiming to target US bases inside the country. So if that happened, Iraq will be put directly into the Israel-Iran war. Strike on US forces will trigger immediate retaliation. So Baghdad, which is Iraq, urged Iran to avoid targeting US interests in Iraqi soil. And but the situation changed dramatically after Trump authorized strike on the strategic nuclear infrastructure, including Frodo. I see this. I think it's Frodo. He's a hobbit. So United States are anti-hobbits. You know? So Tehran vowed to retaliate. And so the past few days, Iranian-backed groups in Iraq has issued threats, attacks on US bases, embassy, and even warning that US citizens in Iraq could be targeted if Washington sided with Israel. The red line has been breached, and the same group has largely silent. No condemnation of the strike, no official statement. Silent is telling. It points to two likely scenarios. One, silent is tactical. They are quietly preparing for operations and avoiding statements that could compromise the elements of surprise. They're hesitant, aware that any move would expose them to overwhelming US and Israeli retaliation. If they act, Iraq will become a battleground. If they don't, it will mark the first major restraint by Iranian proxy in Iraq since the rise of the axis of resistance. Either way, 24 to 48 hours, 1 to 2 days, will define Iraqi position in the regional war. So, and then New York Times citing US official confirming Iran-backed armed groups in Iraq is prepared to attack US bases. So they say only one rocket attacks will bring Baghdad into part of the Israel-Iran war. I disagree. One rocket attack is not enough. You need to one rocket attack and kill a US soldier, then yes. If there's no US soldier killed, then I don't think so. So this is just interesting warning. We shall see. We shall see what Iran going to pull off further. And this is another interesting post I just want to share also before we go off. This is the good ISIS. They are the Institute of Science. The full name is let me pull this up again. You probably can't read it. Okay, let me pull this up. So they are the, oh my god, why so big? Okay. So they are the Institute for Science and International Security. They basically monitor for non-proliferation. So this is the map of the attacks on the Isfahan. So there is tunnel entrances that is filled by Iran. They appear to be attacked and damaged by by United States. Previous attack by the Israeli attack, other Israeli attacks, and then the Tomahawk missiles hit some buildings. Main uranium conversion facilities severely damaged. So it's a zirconium production plant and then a uranium conversion facility. Yeah, so there's some interesting footages. So tunnel entrance backfilled with soil. So trucks backfilling soil into tunnel entrances. Why are they doing that? Interesting. Anyone in the chat know why? Why would you want to use soil to fill up the tunnel entrances? Always attack from 3 sides and deep. And then tunnel entrances filled by Iran on June 20th. So there is not it's not trucks evacuating stuff. So according to the good ISIS, this is the good ISIS. By this Institute of Science and International Security, they say that the trucks actually were not there to evacuate the nuclear stuff, but they are there to fill up the entrance with soil. So the tunnel entrance is unclear. Both tunnel entrances are collapsed. This one also collapsed. Debris spilled across roads. the entrances were attacked and damaged by the strike by the United States. Like, so what the hell is happening? This is very confusing. So, assessment, the site is heavily damaged. The main finding is that the main uranium conversion facility that converts natural uranium into uranium hexafluoride was severely damaged. So uranium hexafluoride is the form of uranium entered into gas centrifuges. So they also observed damage to the tunnel entrances leading to the underground complex just north of Esfahan. 3 of the 4 entrances collapsed. Status of 4 is unclear. Significant damage. There may be significant damage to the underground complex. Satellite imagery from the 20th showing uranium backfilling the tunnel entrances is likely a precautionary measure to contain an explosion or prevent the explosion of hazardous materials from exiting the facilities. That's interesting. I'm not sure. What do you guys think? This is interesting information. I never saw this before. This is a very, very interesting information, right? So escaping gas at high temperature speed cause additional damage if it was done beforehand. Sealing the entrance to lock the installation for the moment. Block spies from going in and check what's really in there. I mean, there's also a possibility. Didn't need those trucks to evacuate. They only have 400 kilograms of enriched uranium, which is enough to make several nuclear bombs. Yeah, but I think the enrichment is not enough. The enrichment was 60%. I think it's only enough for a dirty bomb. I think not enough for a nuclear bomb yet. But definitely, if I'm Iran and my ego is really hurt, 100% is going to bring the development of the nuclear bomb underground, like for sure. And I'm definitely going to fight it out with Israel. I will not fight with United States though. Now it's pointless to hit United States, but I definitely bring the war to Israel. I continue to fight this war of attrition with Israel by missile strikes versus air strikes. And then wish that, and then pray that I can buy some surface to air missile system to hit Israeli planes. But no, yeah, that's going to be difficult. So so they have a photo fuel enrichment plant. Imagery shows 6 penetration hole from GBU 57. Set of holes are near the ventilation shaft, and then enable easy pathway for the mobs to the deeply buried halls. Okay, the enrichment hall is likely severely damaged or even destroyed in the attack. Debris from the explosion can be seen on the side of the mountain. So of note, then the tunnel entrances are backfilled by uranium with soil in preparation of the attack. So this was the image. So backfill entrances filled prior to the attack, and then the ventilation holes. So the set of holes near the ventilation shaft of the underground complex enable easier pathway for the mobs to the deeply buried halls. So the penetration, 6 penetration. So 3 at the same spot, 3 at the same spot. This is actually very accurate, the strike. This is actually very accurate. So gray debris and ashes from the explosion on the side of the mountain. So I wonder how that works, man. How the explosion goes. Interesting. That's interesting. Russia's weakness is air power. I'm not sure that's true. Russia have a very strong air force though. Honestly, I wouldn't say that it's a weakness at all. They pretty much sum it up. You stop those contamination from escaping. We did it plenty in Iraq when detonating whole smaller depots. This was OIF-1. I see. Interesting. That means they really expected that they're going to lose it, which means that they also was informed by the Americans. That means Donald Trump has already informed them that they're going to hit the nuclear facilities. That's why they are preparing, right? No, or just simply the B-2s and the tankers moving around means they know by that. Remember, the deeper the better. Oh yeah, totally. No, you should like explode everything inside. Yeah. Oh my god, give it up, DPA. The strikes are worthless. But I'm not the one that said it's working, dude. Chill, man. I didn't say it's working. I'm just reading what people analyzed. So this was just now what I read. Yeah, share this. Spencer Faragasso. So this is the senior fella at this think tank. So this is another one, backfilled with soil. Okay. So precautionary measures to contain the blast from any attacks are preventing the spread of materials from inside the facilities. Interesting. Yeah. So if this is all true, then no, Trump is not wrong when he ranted about the other sites were totally destroyed. He's very, very adamant about this. So yeah. Penetration hole above the enrichment hall. Destroyed pilot fuel enrichment plant. Main uranium conversion facility destroyed. The damaged. Yeah. Oh, this is the 3D version. Okay. Lightly mob penetration point. Ventilation shaft seen at the Algadia facility. This is 2009 image. Oh, so they superimposed the plan underneath. So probable ventilation structure. Main cascade hall, 250 meter long. Interesting. Conduit being lengthened, excavation above surface. Yeah, it must be so expensive to build this facility in the mountains. It must be so difficult. South entrance, main entrance, north entrance, relative mountain peak. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. Very interesting. We live in this very interesting world where where we have so much information. Until the point where you don't even know which one is real. Yeah. So looks like yeah, I don't think there's any more Akasa Air. Due to the prevailing situation in the Middle East, our flight operation to and fro the region may be impacted. Okay, so nothing particularly special about that. So BRICS news. So this account, this channel said Iran informed the US via 2 diplomatic channels hours ahead of attack on US base in Qatar. Okay, that seems to be the leading narrative right now. So let me. So yeah, I think that's about it. So the whole strike has ended. So I think Trudeau is saddened to see the passing of his friend. Yeah, Nunez enjoy him. In case for those watching DPA Open Mic, you will know who is Nunez. Join him. Okay. So anyway, that's it. So thank you everyone for joining the stream. How long was the stream? I don't even know, man. How long was the stream? It's almost 2 hours. So yeah, about it. Yeah, 350 people. 350 over people at the top. So that's not bad for the first ever stream on the DPA War channel. So check out the Ukraine War channel. No, Ukraine War channel. Ukraine War Sitrep on the main channel. That's already published if you haven't watched it. And so hopefully we don't go into World War III. Like I said, Iran is in a very, very difficult position. Like there's not a lot of good options. The best option, I would say, I'm saying as a very neutral position right here, is that in order to defend its own regime, its prestige, I think the only way is just to go on this attrition war with Israel. There is a war that they can win. There is a possibility of winning because there's no guarantee that the Israeli public can handle a lot more destroyed civilian buildings, like all these apartment buildings that were like totally smashed. I'm not sure how much the Israeli public can take before they ask their government to stop bombing Iran. So that is a war that I think Iran can possibly win. and gain some prestige back. But if they try to pick a fight with United States, that would be a bad idea. So I hope this will be the end of the Iranians' retaliation against the US strike. Personally, I do not think I do not think Trump will want to strike Iran any further for now, because with the strike, they already hampered the nuclear dreams of Iran. Not destroyed, but heavily hampered it. Israel will continue to strike further on the Iranians' uranium facilities and whatnot. So Israel will continue. United States will just make use of Israel to do the dirty work. Trump will not need to do any further. I think this will be as much as it goes. Just like the assassination of Soleimani, I think that will be it will be like Trump though will continue to be able to say that I started no wars, that he will continue to be able to say that. So that will work. Yeah. And although the Straits of Hormuz is still allegedly supposed to be closed by Iran, that is going to be a big geopolitical problem for the region in that sector. That would be a bad idea. And I also want to see how China is going to fulfill its warnings, because he warned them not to close it. Let's see how China is going to pressure Iran to open it. Trump wouldn't just do nothing. That isn't Trump's style. But the thing is, he did nothing before. So after he take out Soleimani, Iran fired missiles at the US military bases, and Trump warned that no US soldiers must die, or if a single US soldier died, they will wipe out all the cultural sites in Iran. And in the end, the soldiers only got concussions, but no one died. So after that, it ends. Trump then never retaliate against the retaliation. So it's not like it did not happen before. It happened before in the first term. So so I think if this is the way how it works, it's good. It's like what Trump loved. Balanced trade. They traded attacks, and yeah, Trump won. Essentially, if this is as much as Iran is going to go. So that's very good. So anyway, thank you everyone for participating and in the live chat. And I enjoy talking to you guys. I love to do live streams. It's just that it's very hard to manage my time if I do live streams, as well as covering the Ukraine war and whatnot. So, and also just to share, like just now I say about the algo thing. Yeah, the algo is very hard right now because the algo is now pushing content very, very related to the last video you watch and the videos that you always watch. So the viewership for the channel is definitely lower, and also when I do publish videos that is unrelated to the Ukraine war, the viewership is lower, and that basically punish the entire channel. Basically the YouTube will just crash the viewership for the entire channel. They push it lesser. Like I literally can see it from the numbers. So yeah, but that's about it. I just do what I can, and then see how this goes. If YouTube cannot survive, I'll probably focus on other businesses. But we shall see. Hopefully that's not the end. I'll just continue to do what I can, and just hope for the best. I have no idea how things is gonna go on, but let's see. So that's it. I cannot talk anymore. I'm running out of voice. Thank you for watching. I'm gonna drop the outro. Actually, intro, outro. Maybe you guys have never watched this before. So, yeah, for the OGs, you guys probably will have seen it before. So, anyway, thank you for the super chats as well. I know there's a few super chats from Johari and Musi Design. So anyway, that's it. Thank you, and I'll see you guys in the next update. Bye, guys.